Okay. Yesterday we discussed about the interrupt hardware. That means about this diagram yesterday. How the INTR pin of a processor is connected to the IO devices. This is explained a little bit yesterday. Now I will come to the basics of interrupts. What do you mean by interrupt? Okay. Interrupt is nothing but the process of interruption. Interruption of the existing activity. What are the activity is going on currently that is to be interrupted, and the emergency activity or whatever the necessary activity which is important is to be executed first. Then then come back to the previous activity. That is what we call as interruption. Here, an interrupt is a special condition that arises during the working of a microprocessor. The microprocessor services it by executing a service routine. So there is subroutine called interrupt service routine. For example, the best example will be for interruption is, suppose a fire accidents happen. What all of you can do? We stopped all our activities, then immediately we have to vacate the premises. That is going to happen if any accident arises or any accident takes place. Similarly, fire accident, etc. That is what we call as interruption. Here again, these interruptions or interrupts are of different types. There are hardware interrupts and software interrupts. As I mentioned here, there is hardware interrupt as well as software interrupt. Hardware interrupt examples are NMI and INTR. NMI is non-maskable interrupt. NMI means non-maskable interrupt. INTR is another interrupt pin. Here, why you are calling this or hardware interrupts are, you can check here. If you take any processor, this is the 40-pin IC 8086 CPU. Okay, it has so many pins: ground, address lines. Okay, here INTR is there, NMI is there, clock is there, ground is there. Here, this NMI and INTR pins are related to hardware interrupts. NMI and INTR. Okay, these two are hardware interrupt pins. You may ask why you require many interrupts, are why not only one? Okay, here generally each interrupt pin will serve some purpose. This INTR pin is used for general purpose. This NMI is used for a specific purpose, that is non-maskable interrupt. So this interrupt cannot be halted by anyone. This NMI interrupt cannot be halted by anyone, whereas the interrupts are devices which are connected to INTR, or the interrupts which are receiving by INTR can be enabled or can be disabled. We can control here. We can control the interrupts. We can disable the interrupts also if they are connected to INTR line. But in the case of NMI, okay, it is non-maskable. We cannot disable the interrupts. Okay, this one. So, for example, this is a system. The system is going on running, but if any fire accidents, etc., happens, okay, all the that is high priority interrupt. Those high priority interrupts are connected to the NMI. Like even though the process is off, this NMI will work. That is non-maskable interrupt. Some special situations, okay, which may occur, those comes under this. Example is fire accidents. Okay, such interrupts will be given to this NMI. So immediately it will respond and it will execute the corresponding routine and do the necessary activity. That is what we call as NMI, non-maskable interrupts. Okay. These two are the interrupt pins which are called hardware. Here up to this, do you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt up to this? Please respond. Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
This is the basic division. Interrupts. Interrupts are two categories: hardware and software. Then hardware interrupts are again divided into maskable interrupts as well as non-maskable interrupt. Maskable interrupt example is INTR. Non-maskable interrupt is NMI. Is it clear? What is the example of maskable interrupt? What is the example of maskable interrupt?
Fire accidents.
Pardon? What is the example of maskable interrupt?
INTR.
INTR. Non-maskable interrupt?
NMI.
NMI. Okay. These two are 8086 pins. NMI and INTR 8086 pins. Okay. Suppose if you take another processor, not 8086, then again the non-maskable may be have some other name, not only NMI. It may be have some other. Okay. The processor may have two types of hardware interrupts. One is maskable, another is non-maskable. Some processors may have only non-maskable also, maskable also. It is not mandatory. The processor need not always have the non-maskable interrupts. Okay, but all the processors must have the hardware interrupt. Okay, that hardware interrupt will be a maskable one. Sometimes the processor may also have a non-maskable also. Is it clear or not? This is mandatory. If you take any processor, that processor should have a non-maskable, should have a maskable interrupts. All the processors should have maskable interrupts, but this is optional. This may have or may not have, depends upon the processor or their requirement. Is it clear? Is it clear or not? So what are the hardware interrupts? What are the examples? Tell me. What are the hardware interrupts?
Maskable interrupt, non-maskable interrupt.
Examples of hardware interrupts.
NMI and INTR.
Yes, good. Okay. I think up to that point, I think all of are clear. Then that is hardware interrupts. Examples are NMI and INTR. Okay. Next, come to the software interrupt. The software interrupt is nothing but a simple instruction: INT0, INT2. Okay, like this: INT3, 1, INT1, INT3, INT4, like that. Okay, like that INT002 to INTFF. There are 256 interrupts are there from INT00 to INTFF. Okay, that is FF means 255. So totally 256 interrupts are there. Okay, those are called, all these are software interrupts which are similar to your instructions, nothing else. Okay, which are similar to your instructions, like move A comma B, like that. All these are the instructions. It doesn't require any signal. It is only instruction. Whereas this NMI and INTR, these hardware interrupts, must require the signal to activate it. Here, how to give the interrupt? This, if INTR pin is high, means that this interrupt is activated. If NMI pin is high, high means if you give a signal, 5-volt signal. If you give a 5-volt signal, it means that this NMI will work. If you give a 5-volt signal to INTR, then it will work. If you give 0 signal, means that interrupt is not activated. The hardware interrupt is activated if you supply a signal of 1. Whereas for software interrupts, it is only instruction. That is the difference. All of you got that difference? All of you clear about the difference? we need to supply a signal. We need to supply a signal for hardware interrupts, but software interrupts are only instructions which are like written in the program. You got the clarity?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next point is, again, this is little bit confusing. Okay. This is a little bit confusing. Please be concentrate on this. All of you concentrate on this. Is it visible or can I increase it? 1 minute, please. All of you be on the line. Hello, sir. Namaskar, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. పంపించాను సార్ వెంకటరమణ పంపించాను ఆఫీస్కి. వెంకటరమణ కూడా పంపించారు సార్. కొంచెం ఆయన కూడా మీరు ప్రసాద్ గారు కొంచెం చెప్పరు సార్ నేను కొంచెం మీరు వాడు మీకు తెలుసు కదా ప్రసాద్ గారు. అవునవును ఫోన్లో మాట్లాడానా? ఓకే ఓకే సరే సార్. నరేంద్ర కలిసాను చేస్తాను. అదే నరేంద్ర చెప్పారు ఆల్రెడీ మామూలు చెప్పారు. ఓకే రైట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. హలో.
Sir.
Is it visible?
Sir, zoom it, sir.
Zoom it. Now is it okay? Now is it visible? This one. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Here, already I told that what the main memory consists of. Main memory what the main memory consists of? What type of memory it has? Main memory. What are the different parts in main memory? What are the different parts in main memory? Tell me. Any one of you. How many types of memory are connected to CPU? What are the different types of memories connected to CPU? Or which with you are working? What are the different types of memories associated with CPU?
Temporary memory and permanent memory.
Temporary memory means?
Temporary main memory.
Okay. Main memory is temporary memory.
Yes, sir.
So what are the again parts in that? All the main memory is temporary memory?
No, sir.
So what are the parts in that? I mean the main memory, what are the different parts? Again?
Stack is a part of main memory, sir.
Okay, right. Then? Okay, I will explain here. The CPU is associated with 3 memories. One is cache, then which is connected to then main memory, then which is again connected to secondary memory. It is not permanent and like temporary. Okay. This cache memory is your static RAM. Your cache memory is nothing but your static RAM part. Okay. The static RAM part is nothing but your flip-flops. Okay. which use voltage as a reference for this voltage values. Okay. Then the next one is main memory. The CPU is connected to cache, then main, then secondary. This main memory is nothing but your dynamic RAM, okay, and dynamic RAM and ROM. And ROM. Okay. Then this one is your hard disk. Now, do you have the clarity now? Have you got the clarity? The memory, the CPU is associated with these memories. First it is associated with cache, then which is connected to then main, then which is connected to then secondary memory. Your static RAM, static memory here, to avoid the confusion, I will write it as static memory. Okay. That is cache memory, which will use flip-flops, for the cache memory. That is what you call as your flip-flops means are registers here. What do that is like D flip-flops. Here you are using D flip-flops. Then the main memory you will have a dynamic RAM and RAM portion. There are two portions here. The main memory will have two portions, not only RAM. It will have the dynamic RAM as well as ROM portion also. What about this ROM? Is it permanent memory or temporary memory? This ROM. ROM is permanent or temporary? Please respond.
Permanent, sir.
RAM is permanent, but dynamic RAM is RAM. Dynamic RAM. Dynamic RAM is temporary memory. Okay. The main memory will have both the things. Dynamic, that is RAM portion as well as RAM portion. Okay. Is it clear? It will have both the portions. The main memory will have two portions, RAM portion as well as RAM. Okay. RAM portion will be temporary memory. RAM will be permanent memory. Someone told you earlier in the just 2 minutes back, stack. Stack is which comes on which part? Is it within the ROM or RAM? Where will be the stack? Is it in the ROM or is it in the RAM? Please respond. No problem. If you tell the wrong answer also, it doesn't matter. But you need to spell out.
ROM, sir.
ROM, stack.
SE.
That is wrong. RAM. Stack low. Okay. You see the basic concept. In the stack, is there any permanent data is there? Stack. What is the purpose of stack? What is the purpose of stack? What is the purpose of stack? Stack purpose is to
Store the temporary results or variables.
Yes. Temporary means what type of memory you are going to use here? RAM is temporary memory.
RAM is temporary, sir.
So your stack portion is nothing but a part of RAM. Okay. Some part of RAM, random access memory is used for the stack purpose. Okay. Is it clear? The stack
Yes,
is
sir.
allocated in the RAM area, random access memory area. Okay. Now, for what purpose you are going to use this RAM, read-only memory? For what purpose you are going to use this read-only memory? For what purpose you are going to use read-only memory? One is for storing the bootstrap loader. For storing the bootstrap loader. For storing the bootstrap loader. Okay, is it clear? For storing the bootstrap loader, we are going to use ROM portion, and okay, this ROM will be used to store the loader, okay, bootstrap loader, and okay, and IVT. Okay, this ROM is used to load to store the bootstrap loader program and IVT. IVT means interrupt vector table. Okay, it is used to store the interrupt vector table. Interrupt vector table also. Okay, what is that interrupt vector table? That you can see here. This is the interrupt vector table. Okay, here what is this? Its address is from 000H to what is the address? 3FFH. Okay, this is the memory portion in the ROM. This is the memory portion in the ROM, ROM, which is used for interrupt vector table purpose. What do you mean by interrupt vector table? Interrupt vector table, IVT, interrupt vector table contains, okay, the starting addresses of all the interrupt service routines. Okay, of all the interrupt service routine. This is here you see type 0 pointer, that is divide error. That means this is INT 0 from the location 000H to 004. That means how many locations here? How many locations are here? Tell me. How many locations from 000H to 004H? How many locations are there? Any one of you respond. How many locations are there? ఎన్ని అడ్రస్లు ఉన్నాయి ఇక్కడ? ఎన్ని అడ్రస్లు ఉన్నాయి? I'm talking about how many bits, how many bytes here? 000 to 004H. How many bytes are here? How many bytes of memory is there in between these two addresses? ఎంత ఉంటుంది? Are you there? Any one of you? Is it understood or not? Are you on the line or not? Are you available? Is it
Yes,
audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
How many address bytes are there here?
2 bytes, sir.
4 kada? I think it is 4, no? What is the difference between address 000 and 004? 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 is the next one. Okay? 00, 01, 02, then 03, then 04. In between these two, okay, there are 4 bytes. Those 4 bytes contains the starting address of INT0 subroutine. What those 4 bytes contains? 2 bytes is allocated for IP address, okay, IP offset. Another 2 bytes is for code segment base address. Already I have discussed about code segment, data segment, etc. earlier. Yes or no? Code segment is used for to store the code. Data segment is used to store the data. Stack segment is used to for storing temporary variables. Extra segment can be used for any purpose. Any of the above 3 or any of the previous 3. ES can be used to store code, data, as well as stack purpose. Is it clear? So these 4 bytes contains the starting address of the interrupt subroutine of INT 0. Is it clear? Then INT 1. INT 1 contains, okay, INT 1 subroutine starting address will be stored from 004 to 007, 004, 005, 006, and 007. In 4 bytes, INT1 subroutine ISR. Subroutine means ISR, interrupt subroutine. Starting address is stored. Then similarly, next type 2, that means interrupt 3, interrupt 2, interrupt 3, interrupt 4, so on. Is it clear to all of you now? Is it clear to you?
Sir, explain again, sir.
Okay. The RAM portion will contain two things. One is bootstrap loader, and one is interrupt vector table. Another one is interrupt vector table. Here, already, this is only for the sake of understanding, I am telling now, but this is what here, all the interrupts are stored in the interrupt vector table. All the interrupt information is stored in the interrupt vector table. The interrupt vector table contains, okay, the starting addresses of its corresponding interrupt subroutines. Starting address means how the address is to be represented by using the instruction pointer or program counter. Is it clear or not? How do you refer the address? By using a program counter. Okay, the program counter contains what? The program counter contains the starting address of, or the address of the next instruction to be executed. The program counter is a register which contains, okay, the address of the next instruction to be executed. Is it clear, or do you have any doubt in that? Is it clear, or do you have any doubt in that?
Yes, sir.
Clear. Here, in the case of 8086, the program counter is same as IP, instruction pointer. Here you see the IP is instruction pointer. In 8086, there is no program counter. There is instruction pointer. Okay. You can name anything. So most of the process will use the name program counter, but 8086, okay, they use instruction pointer, okay, for the same purpose of PC. Here, the 8086, okay, doesn't have the program counter register. In place of program counter register, it has IP register. Same purpose. Name is different, nothing else. Everything is same. Only name. They used instruction pointer, which is same as program counter. Okay. Is it clear now? Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? Please respond.
No doubt, sir.
Okay. This instruction pointer contains the address of the next instruction to be executed. Then, already there are segments. Code segment already I told you. Okay. Each segment register will have its base address. Okay. To get the actual address, the instruction pointer offset is to be added to the base address. Yes. Then only you will get the physical address or actual address. Okay. That means here you need to get the address, starting address or some address, to get the address of some location or some function or subroutine. Okay. That information is available in IP register as well as code segment register. Is it clear? Okay. These two register information is stored in these 4 locations. In these 4 locations. In these 4 locations. Is it clear? Here, as you see, this is a word memory. Here, they represented a word memory. See here, they represented a word memory. So, word means each word contains 2 bytes. So, totally here 00, 000, then 0001 is one word, then 002 and 003 is another word. So, totally 4 bytes. Is it clear? Okay. That means in one word, IP register information stored. In one word, CS base address information is stored. Till this step is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that means you have used 4 bytes. 2 bytes for IP address, 2 bytes for CS base address. Okay. Those 4 will be this one. Okay. This 2, this 2. Totally 4. 2 words are there. 2 words means 4 bytes. Okay. 2 words means 4 bytes. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear till step? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. That is for INT 0. Similarly for INT 1. Similarly for INT 2. Similarly for INT 3. Similarly for INT 4. Then INT 5. So on up to INT 255. Type 255 pointer means INT 255 interrupt. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So here we have all the interrupts here. Okay. All these interrupts are vectored interrupts. Why? Because, okay, I will show it to you later here. Suppose INTA, okay, here itself, INT 0, okay. If you multiplied with INT number 0 by 4, what is the value? INT 0 means the interrupt number is 0. If you multiply the interrupt number by 4, what will be that? 0. Okay. If interrupt 1, INT 1, if you multiply the interrupt number with 4, what will be that? Tell me. Tell me.
4, sir.
4. If interrupt is 2, INT 2, if the interrupt number is multiplied with 2, what will be the value?
8, sir.
8, like that. Okay. So here, you need not mention the interrupt vector table addresses there. Okay. If you give INT 0 instruction, if you write INT 0 instruction, immediately, okay, the instruction pointer points to this one location. That means 0 into 4. Then INT 1, 1 into 4. INT 2, 2 into 4. So with the interrupt number itself, the corresponding address will be generated. Corresponding address will be generated. For INT 3, what will be the address? What is the address for INT 3? 3 into 4 is 12. 12 means 00C. This one. Similarly for 4. So on. So the interrupt number is multiplied with 4 will give the interrupt vector table address of the corresponding interrupt. Okay. That is called, those are called vectored interrupts. Those are called vectored interrupts. This concept is called vectored interrupts. It means if you give the interrupt, automatically it will go to a specific place. It will go to a specific address. Suppose I write int2. Suppose I write int2 instruction. So always it goes to 008 only. It will not go to anywhere else. That means that whenever you call that interrupt, okay, it has to refer to a particular fixed address. Whenever I call int2, always it points to 008 only. Okay, such concept is called vectored interrupt concept. So all the software interrupts are vectored interrupts. Now is it clear? The concept is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I've got the overall idea how the interrupt vector table will be, what it contains, where this IVT is stored, interrupt vector table is stored, where the interrupt vector table is stored. Where it will be stored? IVT. It will be stored in read-only memory portion. Read-only memory portion. Okay. Then all the software interrupts are vector interrupts here. Okay. All the vectors. Okay. It is vector table. Interrupt vector table. Okay. Is it clear now? Or do you want some more explanation on this interrupt vector table? Is it sufficient?
Clear, sir.
Clear.
Yes, sir.
Again, I will add one more point to this. Here, there are different types of interrupts. Dedicated interrupts, then reserved interrupt pointers, then available interrupt pointers. There are three categories here. Again, the interrupt, there are so many. In that, they are categorized into three categories. Dedicated interrupt pointers means it has specific purpose. It is dedicated. Suppose int 0, that is for divide by error. It will not do anything, only one, that is fixed. Similarly, type 1, that is int 1, it is single step. Type 2, it is for non-maskable. That's all. Okay. Like that, each interrupts first 5, okay, up to int 4, int 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, totally 5. int 0 to int 4 are dedicated interrupts. Why? Because, okay, their functionality is fixed. You cannot change whatever you want. That is fixed. int 0 this, int 1 is this, 2 is this, 4, 5. That's all. Okay. Okay. These are fixed. Then this int 5. Okay. Then up to what? 31. int 5 to int 31. They are reserved interrupts. int 5, int 31. They are reserved. That means it is not available to the programmer or user. Okay. They are used for the system purpose. That is reserved. You cannot use. Okay. They are reserved. So here, it is not here. Okay. They are reserved. Okay. Then from here onwards, okay, from int 32 onwards, int 255, int 32 onwards to, okay, int 255, they are available interrupt pointers. Available interrupt pointer means they can be used by the user as per your requirement. I think all of you know about C. Are you familiar with C or not? Are you familiar with C or not? Are you familiar with C or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In C language, are you using header files? Are you using header files?
Yes, sir.
What are those header files?
Hash include stdio.h.
Okay. What is stdio.h? What it contains? It has some defined functions. Yes or no? Okay. Like printf, scanf, etc. Okay. All those things are available in that. There is system defined, that is already existing header files are there. In addition to that, if I want to add my own functions, then what can I do? Can I add my own header file in the C program? Can I add my own header file in the C program? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Huh? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Yes. We can add your own header files. You need not stick on to only stdio.h, conio.h, graphics.h, math.h. You can write your own header files. Okay? You can write your own header files and you can include same function. Hash, okay, include, okay, rvk.h, that I can add it. Okay. Okay. I can add my own header file. Hash include rvk.h. I can add it. rvk.h will have some my own functions, my own defined functions. Okay. By include that file directly, I can call my functions like printf and scanf. I can call my own functions in similar fashion. Okay. Most of the languages or most of the things, okay, will offer the user defined things. Okay. Even the data type also, you can add your own data type in C also. Enumerated data type, I heard it. Enumerated data type, I heard it or not in C? I've heard it or not? Enumerated data type in C. Yes or no? Don't waste the time. Please respond.
No, sir.
No. So in data types also, like your int, char, and float, etc., you will have the enumerated data type facilities also there in C. You can, okay, use your own data types also. You can use your own data type. Suppose I want to use the week, Monday, Tuesday, etc. Okay. Okay. Week. I want to make it as a week or month or my own some other data. That is what called as enumerated data type. User defined data types. You can define your own data type. That facility is also there in C. Similarly here, okay, the interrupts, okay, will be given for the user purpose. Okay. You can write your own interrupts or that is called available interrupt pointers or available interrupts. Okay. Suppose int32. Okay. You may use for some purpose, I may use for some other purpose. int33, you may use for some purpose, I may use some other purpose. So based on our my requirement or based on your requirement, all these are available to the user. Is it clear? Have you got my point? Have you got my point? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes. So here the interrupts will be dedicated type and reserved type. Reserved type will be you cannot do anything. That is system control. It is not in our control. The system will use these interrupts. The system used these interrupts for its functions, for its functionality. Whereas this will be used by the user. This will be have some fixed purpose. Okay. This is interrupt vector table. Okay. All these are, I'm telling about software interrupts. Yes? Yes or no? All these are
Software interrupts.
software interrupts. Okay. Now I think you got the clear idea about software interrupts now. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Then hardware interrupts. Hardware interrupts are two, NMI and INTR. First we'll discuss about NMI. NMI is non-maskable interrupt. Non-maskable means which cannot be controlled by the programmer, which cannot be masked, which cannot stop. Okay, always it is allowed. Okay, this NMI is used, okay, for example, fire alarms. Okay, anta, suppose the entire factory is closed, all the systems are closed, but there is a provision for the fire alarm. How it activated? By using such non-maskable interrupts. Okay. Okay. You can get the alarm if any fire, there is a possibility of fire accident. Okay. Such signals will be sent to the non-maskable interrupt, that is NMI. Okay, right? It's clear. Here this is a non-maskable interrupt. Okay, I will explain about what is edge triggered and level triggered and all those things later. Okay, it is a non-maskable interrupt. Basically, I am confined to only the concept here. So if I go on deviating, so much will be there. Okay. Here you see this microprocessor obtains the ISR address from location 2 into 4. It is INT2. This NMI is nothing but your INT2. See this, INT2 is your non-maskable interrupt. Here you may get it out that, okay, I told that it is hardware interrupt. Again, I am telling that it is a software interrupt. How it is possible? Huh? Just now I am telling that it is NMI, it is there, pin is there, NMI pin is there, okay, and I am telling about it is a hardware interrupt. But again here there is a non-maskable interrupt, there is INT2. You didn't get the confusion? Are you confused or you don't have any confusion? Confusion unda leda? Hello? Are you online or not? All of you are, is it audible? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
ఇక్కడ నేను మీకు ఎన్ఎంఐ అనేది హార్డ్వేర్ ఇంటరప్ట్ అని చెప్తున్నా, కానీ మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇంటరప్ట్ కూడా ఉంది. మీకు కన్ఫ్యూజన్ రావట్లేదా అంటున్నా? వస్తుందా?
ఎస్ సార్, అంటే మేబీ ప్రాపర్టీ చేంజ్ అయి ఉండొచ్చు సార్, అక్కడ ఉన్నదానికి ఇక్కడ
ప్రాపర్టీ ఏం చేంజ్ కాదు, అన్ని ఇంటరప్ట్స్ దీంట్లోనే ఉంటాయి. ఈ వెక్టర్ ఇంటరప్ట్ వెక్టర్ టేబుల్ కంటైన్స్ ఆల్ ది ఇంటరప్ట్స్. ఏదైనా దానికంటే సిగ్నల్ వస్తే అగైన్ ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేస్తుంది అది. అలా సీ హియర్. మీకు వాటికి హార్డ్వేర్ అంటే ఏంటి? అక్కడ మీరు సిగ్నల్ ఇవ్వాలి, ఇక్కడ ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ రాయాలి. ఓకే, ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? సపోజ్ నేను నాన్ మాస్కుల్ ఇంటరప్ట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే ప్రోగ్రామ్లో నేను INT2 అని రాస్తా. ఇస్ ఇట్ క్లియర్? If I want to use a non-maskable interrupt functionality in the program, I will write INT2. ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ నేను ఎప్పుడు రాస్తాను? ఏదైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు రాసుకుంటాను. అట్లా కాకుండా సపోజ్ నాకు చెప్పాను చూసారా, ఒక అలారం అన్ని ఊరు ఉండరు నైట్ టైం, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ షట్ డౌన్, బట్ ఫైర్ యాక్సిడెంట్ వస్తుంది. హూ విల్ యూజ్ అలారం టు యూ? దిస్ నాన్ మాస్కబుల్ ఇంటరప్ట్స్. ఆ సిస్టమ్ అప్పుడు మీరు ఐడెంటిఫై చేసి అలారం ఇస్తుంది. ఓకే, సచ్ విల్ బి కనెక్టెడ్ లైక్ దట్. అదే ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే ఎన్ఎంఐకి సిగ్నల్ వస్తుందో, ఆల్ ఆఫ్ సీ హియర్ two options. Directly I can write INT2 in the program itself. That is one possibility. If I write INT2, it is a software interrupt. All of you listen carefully about this point. If I write INT2 in a program, it is a software interrupt. If you get a signal on NMI, then automatically the processor is connected to INT2 automatically. Is it clear now? All of you got it clear or not?
Clear, sir.
నేను INT2 రాస్తే అది సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇంటరప్ట్ అవుతుంది. INT2 రాయకుండా ఎన్ఎంఐకి సిగ్నల్ ఇచ్చాను అనుకోండి, దెన్ అగైన్ ఇట్ విల్ బి రూటెడ్ టు దట్ ఓన్లీ. Here the inputs are different. In the software interrupt input ఎట్లా ఇచ్చాను నేను? ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్లో రాసి INT2 అని రాశాను నేను ప్రోగ్రాంలో, అంతేనా? హార్డ్వేర్ ఇంటరప్ట్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాను? నేను ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తున్నానా? రాయట్లేదు. ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ ఎ సిగ్నల్ టు NMI pin. Automatically the processor control goes to that location. Okay, location is 008. రెండు ఒకటే. If I write INT2 in the program, then the control will also be transferred to this place. If I give the signal to NMI pin, again the control goes to this 008 only. No difference. But the input mechanism is different. Here the input is a signal, there the input is instruction. That is the difference. If I write INT2 in the program, that is software interrupt. If I give a signal to NMI, then it becomes a hardware interrupt. Is it clear now? All of you got it? All of you got that clarity?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Even in your book lo levu. All these are not in your book. Book means whatever the prescribed book is there. But only to understand that mechanism, I'm telling all these things. But it will be useful. Okay? If you are thorough with this, the same thing will be useful for your microprocessor subject also. Same thing. If you are comfortable with this, the same thing will be used for your microprocessor subject as it is, without any change. Without any change, the same content will be used for your microprocessor subject also. Okay? This C1, these two are correlated. They are different. What I am telling, all the content will be useful for your microprocessor subject as it is. Majority of the content will be used for that. Next one is INTR. Now I think you are very clear about NMI. Yes? You are confident about NMI or not now? Is it clear? NMI are comfortable or not? I think you are so dull. Can I close the session?
Sir, small doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, 2 to midday timetable ఎప్పటి నుంచి సార్?
2 to midday నాకు కనుక్కొని చెప్తాను, నాకు ఐడియా లేదు. మీకు చెప్పట్లేదు వాళ్ళు మీ ఇన్ఛార్జెస్?
అంటే ఎవరు చెప్పలేదు సార్, టైం టేబుల్ ఇవ్వలేదు.
ఓకే, నేను చెప్పమని చెప్తాను, మీ ఇన్ఛార్జి చెప్తాను.
టైం టేబుల్ రిలీజ్ అయిందా సార్?
మేబీ అయ్యి ఉండొచ్చు అనుకున్నా, నాకు ఐడియా లేదు. బట్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ కాన్ఫిడెంట్.
అంటే గూగుల్లో సెర్చ్ చేసి చూస్తే రిలీజ్ సూన్ అని వచ్చింది సార్.
సో ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ మే నాట్ బి. వస్తే మీకు పెడతారు కదా ఇమ్మీడియట్గా, వస్తే మీకు గ్రూప్లో పెడతారు. దట్ ఐ విల్ ఇంటిమేట్ టు ద కన్సర్న్ మీ సంతోష్ ఉన్నాడు కదా, సంతోష్ చెప్తాను నేను.
ఓకే సార్.
Is it okay? I think you feel so dull, all of you. So can I stop it? Or can I
ఎస్ సార్.
stop చేయమంటారా?
ఎస్ సార్.
Okay.